I'll go with it. I'll go with the flow.
Hi!
What's up? Whoop whoop!
Yeah. Welcome to our second wellness checkup. I'll talk. I'll be like, we'll just let me know when the first person comes.
Okay.
We're just waiting for people to show up. Once you're in the chat room, or the chat room, what is this? It's Messenger. We're waiting for everybody to join us. Drop us a note when you enter, and Megan will share it with us. Oh.
We got some peeps.
We didn't even plan our sweatshirts. We didn't.
I know.
I had a feeling though. It's just a little chilly today. Yeah. Getting some friends.
I know your jokes.
We went through a whole bunch last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's literally.
They were good too. Yeah. What was the one about people? 10. 10? Ready? Want to get started? Yeah. 10's our number. We're going, guys. Here we go. All right. Let's do it. Well, welcome to our second wellness checkup. I've got Coach Carl and Coach Erica here with me today. And I just wanted to start off with a quote from our fearless leader, Andy, that we will get through this and we will get through this together. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to share now. And if you have a private question you'd like to address, send us a private message on our Team MK Fitness Instagram or Facebook, and we will address it anonymously. So today we're going to be talking to you about stress management and just some positive tips and things to talk about with mental health awareness. Hey, Casey! All right, so I want to set the scene for you guys first. So your Wi-Fi goes out because everybody in the household is trying to use it. Or your child is just struggling with their NTI work and doesn't want to do it at all. Or you're just in a slump because you're trying to work from home and you don't know how to get through it. So that all sets you up for a bad day, right? Well, it doesn't have to, right? As long as we can start off our day with a positive attitude and a positive outlook on life, that's going to actually have some really good benefits for your well-being. So I want to first start by talking about a positive attitude or a positive outlook. So we want to start to pay attention to the words that we use. So replacing can't with can, right? And then also trying not to waste your time or energy by complaining. Carl, do you have anything that you might want to add to that?
I mean, I know that I'm guilty of it, and I personally need to work on this just from a day-to-day thing. But changing and having that positive outlook and turning it's like, oh, I can't go here, I can't go there, I can't do this, or oh man, man, I'm stuck at home, I have to stay at home, as opposed to then changing that language to, I get to do these things. Like, I get to be home and get this project done, or I get to be home and relax a little bit more, I get to be home and be with my family a little bit more. Changing that language to where it's that more positive of, I get to do this, as opposed to, oh, I have to do this or I can't do this.
Yeah, and I realize there's probably, a lot of people that are a little worse off in this situation than some other people are. For some people, this is kind of just another day in the neighborhood. There's not really, they still got their job, they don't have kids, they are still exercising, they're on their A game. And then there's people on the other end of the spectrum who, do have kids, who have lost their job, who are just really, kind of getting the raw end of the deal in every aspect. But no matter where you are in that spectrum, every single person can try to just be a little bit more positive and put a little bit more positive spin on things. Even when you do have all that negative going on in your life, even if there's just, one point in your day when you're trying to spin things around and make them more positive, or every day when you wake up, try to, start the day positive, that can really have a big difference. Carl, can you think of like a day or a time where it just started off on the wrong foot and it carried, started to realize, like, oh man, like I need to change my attitude. Like, can you think of a time where you, like, things that you've had to kind of put into place to get you out of that slump?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, especially over the last week or so, some technological issues with work from home. Both me and my fiance are working from home, and that's tied up the internet lines. And there was a lot of frustration. It's like we couldn't get done what we needed to do. Things weren't sending the way they needed to, and so there's just a lot of whatever the technological equivalent of road rage is. I think is probably what I was experiencing. And so just had to take a minute, and thankfully it was a nice day. Take a minute, just like put the phone down, put everything down, put the computer away, walked outside, and just sat in our backyard for a minute to kind of regain myself. And then went back in, and with dealing with that, there's only certain ways that you can deal with certain stress causers. That was causing quite a bit of stress. In that kind of scenario, we had the ability to, it's like, okay, well, this isn't getting any better from a use standpoint, so let's see what our options are as far as maybe getting a different internet provider. We had the capability of doing that, saving a little bit of money in the process as well, which is very helpful, and obviously relieved a little bit of stress on that end as well. And now we have that, and everything's going good. So trying to find avenues for either dealing with whatever is causing that stress, whether that's removing yourself from it. In our situation, we were able to actually act upon it and do something to remove the stressor itself.
Awesome. Good. All right, so next we want to address making sure that you assume good intentions. And that's with anybody that you come across, whether it's, I know we're doing our social distancing, but so mainly your outlets right now are going to be on social media. And a lot of things can be misconstrued from social media. So making sure that, you have a good intention, making sure that you approach every situation with good intentions, and everyone is going to be in a different, we're doing our best that we can right now with the situation that we're in. And everybody's going to be handling that a little bit differently. So just making sure that you are setting yourself up for good intentions, and that you're going to allow those other people to have those as well. Have you guys come across anything on social media or just kind of out there on the internet that looked like it could have been something small and just kind of blew up really big, that somebody could have addressed in a different way?
I think I've noticed on all the neighborhoods have their own sites. Like the subdivision has their own Facebook page, and because all the kids are home right now, there's a lot of people, I guess, complaining. I live out in the country, so I don't have to worry about this, but there's a lot of people complaining, about kids in the middle of the street and playing where they're not supposed to be, or playing unsupervised or whatever. And I can see both sides of the spectrum, that we want kids to be safe and don't want them to be causing any mischief or anything like that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, at the same time, it's like, let kids be kids, and this is, they're going to look back on this and think about what an awful time it was because we couldn't go to school and we couldn't go anywhere, and everybody was yelling at us and we were getting in trouble all the time. When you can turn that around and make it to, we had so much fun, we got to play with our friends, it was a little different because we had to stay far apart, but that was one instance that I saw where I was like, gosh, there's people who are really mad about this, and there's people who are really putting a positive spin on it and making it a little bit better. And they were also trying to get the people who are mad to kind of see, okay, you're right, maybe I shouldn't be getting this upset about it.
Okay. Anything?
No, pretty much covered. It's but very similar. Like we have, I don't live out in the country. I live in a little neighborhood area right off of US 60. So we have a lot of kids running around. There was, when all this kind of started, we had even on the street, one of their kids got really upset. Not really sure what happened. They were out on the front porch, screaming their head off. They were upset. Apparently, the mom was just like, "Right, you can go sit out on the porch and you can have your little fit." And so, of course, the neighborhood's like, "What is going on? What's happening?" And it was just once everybody figured out what was happening and what was going on, like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, cool. All right, just make sure everybody's okay." And went on about it. So it's definitely very different. Something that is not necessarily a social media standpoint, but just from an interaction overall, in the neighborhood too.
I just want to also kind of start to address some like stressors and some way to handle stress management. So, you have to remember that collectively we are all going through this traumatic experience. Some have it a little bit worse than others. Yes, you've lost your job. You're struggling to get unemployment. You sit for hours on the phone when you're still trying to, manage your kids at home, and you're trying to get through to at least talk to somebody about helping you. You're afraid that you can't even go to the grocery store. Should I wear a mask? Should I not? Do I take my kids because I don't have anybody to watch my kids? It's a collective stressful time. And there's so many things out there that we see. What do we believe? What do we not believe? You just have to kind of maybe take yourself out of the situation, and look at it from the outside perspective and like, okay, is this doing anything for me? Is this just stressing me out for no reason? Am I worrying or over worrying? You just have to understand that this is not a normal time for everybody, and so everyone's going to handle that a little bit differently. So Carl, do you have any tips for stress management and how to handle all of these different stressors kind of coming at us?
Well, I know, so a couple things as far as just from dealing with stress, like I'm very much a like type A, which is one of the categories as far as dealing with stress. Like I'm type A, like I get irritated, I'm impatient. Some classified as like, you get frustrated, maybe even aggressive. There's like, oh, this is irritating, I'm aggravated. And understanding that it's okay to try not to internalize that frustration, to talk about it, because if you talk about it, make your loved ones, significant other, whoever that's in your bubble, aware of the frustration, verbalizing that. Not everybody works the same way, but verbalizing that can help to kind of get that frustration off your chest. If you know you got to go do something physically active to vent your frustration, being able to go for a walk. I know that's hard because we can't go to the gym right now to work out, but if you have that available, or able to just even go knock out some push-ups, knock out a walk, do some squats, go do something just to get your mind off of that and remove yourself from it. Casey apparently has said something about as far as a lot of stress is coming from the news and media, and that limiting her exposure to that has also helped her. So definitely, like especially with everything that's on the when you turn on the news, you get on social media, everything is about what is happening in the world today. And yeah, definitely like removing, because I've caught myself doing it. I'm on it, I'm scrolling through it, and it's just like, good gosh, like I'm kind of freaking out. Like what's going on? It's like, wait, I need to remove myself from this, stop thinking about it. Not that it's going to make it go away, but
I think
at least you remove yourself.
It's one thing to be informed and do your duty as a responsible citizen, and make sure you're aware of what the guidelines are and that you're abiding by the guidelines and doing the best that you can. But then there's also those people who just really get so saturated in all of the social media and the news and things that are true, things that aren't true, and then just as soon as they hear something, they're immediately spreading it, whether they know if it's true or not, and causing a lot more stress and anxiety for other people. So I think it's important to be aware and to be conscious of what's going on. Just don't overly get involved in spreading the bad rumors and worrying yourself to death.
Well, check your sources, definitely. If you're gonna share something, double check, triple check, like check your sources, figure out where it's coming from. That's telling students that a lot. But make sure you know where it's coming from and that it's factual.
Good. So Erica, do you have any tips for us about dressing for the social life you want, not necessarily the social life that you have?
Yeah, so a lot of us are working from home, especially us who work in a gym and we're used to being in our workout clothes and things like that. It can be really easy for us to want to wake up and just kind of roll out of bed. And I know Carl admitted that some days he gets halfway through the day and he's still in his robe. So I think it's really important to just kind of treat your day as if you were going to work. Set your alarm at the same time as if you were going to work. get up and eat breakfast at the same time, take a shower, and then dress yourself like you were going, to work. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be if you're a business casual type of person that, has to wear like a suit and tie or whatever. Maybe you just put on something that makes you feel good, something that is a t-shirt that was a gift from someone that really kind of sends you some positive vibes for the day, or maybe it's still sweatpants, but it's your favorite pair of sweatpants, and you know that that's going to make you feel good for the rest of the day. So not getting trapped in that habit of kind of just rolling out of bed, wearing the same thing all day. And I've seen a couple memes on Facebook, like I just took off my pajamas and took a shower and then put on my other good pair of pajamas. So just kind of making sure that you make yourself feel a little bit better, make yourself feel purposeful, and more important, to have a little bit better outlook on the day.
I know I've been trying to put my jeans on every couple of days just to, make sure it still fits.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to kind of just allude to real quick too is, there's no roadmap for what we're going through, and everybody's handling it a little bit different, kind of how I mentioned before. So if you don't get to the projects that have been looming around for however long, or if your spouse doesn't get to the honey-do list that you have set for the last year, it's okay. Don't feel like you have to, knock out whatever it is that you feel like you have to in this time. It's not necessarily extra time, because that's just going to add more stress to you. If you don't get to paint your bathroom, that's okay. If you can just get through your day, especially if you're still working from home, if you can just, hit those 8 hours and you've got your kids fed and you took a shower that day, that's great. It doesn't have to, don't put that additional stress on yourself in this time, because that's not really what this is meant for, although it kind of seems like it'd be a great time to do it. But if you got your projects done, then that's awesome too. Whatever helps you kind of manage, this little roller coaster that we're on. That's you just do what you got to do.
I think on that note too, just understanding too, like what you actually have control of. Like there's so much going on right now that we have absolutely no control over. And that can be frightening, that can be stressful all alone just by itself, and irritating and frustrating. But if you focus on those things, especially, but if you can focus on, okay, what can I control? You can control taking a shower, hopefully, each day. You can control, getting dressed and, dressing the part, dressing for the social life you want. Dressing however it is that's going to make you feel kind of like a normal day, going through the normal routine that you would go through. I know I've fallen into the habit of, okay, I don't have to be at work till 8 o'clock, so at 7:55 I'm rolling out of bed. Like actually going through, if you had a morning routine that you were, you had, like get up at 30 minutes before you had to leave for work, you'd have your coffee, you'd have your breakfast, you'd sit and read the paper, read a book or whatever. Like try to keep those routines the same, because you have control of that. You can do that to a degree. So the more things that you can focus on that you do have control of can kind of help, not completely eliminate the stress of what you don't have control of, but at least you're not focusing on it.
One last topic that I wanted to cover, which Eric is going to be our huge spokesperson for this one, is humor, and finding humor in every day. So Erica, you want to take it?
Yeah, so, who doesn't love a little humor, right? I think that humor goes a long way. There's plenty of ways that we can get a little dose of humor in our days, whether it's watching a stand-up comedian on Netflix, or watching your favorite funny movie, or my favorite, playing a little prank or a little joke that's harmless. I'll give you a little tip here. This is one of my favorites. My sister and I used to do this all the time to our parents and to each other. So super simple, super harmless, but it will definitely make you laugh and put a smile on your face. If you have one of those little sprayer nozzles on your sink, you just take a rubber band, tie it around there water so that the next person that comes to use the sink turns the handle on and sprays water all over them. It's so silly, like the simplest thing ever, but it will make you crack up. And even if Tina said just keep wearing happy socks. Even if you can't, you're too afraid that you'll make somebody mad with a prank or something like that. Something as simple as just smiling is going to release those feel-good endorphins and help you feel a little bit better. So if you just think to yourself before you get out of bed in the morning, just give yourself a little smile, or if you're on your way to the grocery store thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be chaos, give yourself a little smile, and get those feel-good endorphins going.
I will also add too, because I love humor. I'm a very positive person, and I'm not the prankster in my house. And if anybody knows my husband, he is so quiet, but he's really not. And today I was hiding in the kitchen. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get him good. And then I run to, right down the hallway, and I'm waiting for him to come out of the bedroom. And all of a sudden I look around the corner, and he knew I was there and scared me. And I was trying to scare him. And we just had a laugh about it, and just doing, just fun stuff like that is going to make you feel silly. And especially if it takes you out of your comfort zone, like me, because I was trying to scare him and I got scared. Just, finding the humor every time that you can in every day is really gonna help you. And just had to keep a routine, talking to the kid, because they're struggling too. Yeah, so that's addressing the kid situation. I think it's super important to remember that kids are going to be struggling just as much as we are, if not more. They don't get their social outlet from their friends. They don't have that structure from, being in school, and, they want to play video games all day, or if you're still working from home and they want you to do something with them, but you can't, that's all gonna cause, added stress for them that they didn't actually have when they were in a set routine, going to school, seeing their friends, having a teacher help them with their work, while you all, the whole time you were at work. So just balancing, that as well. Maybe if you are working from home, chunking out your time so that you work, then you spend time with your kids. Then you get a little bit more work done. Then you spend time with your kids. I think that will be a huge stress relief too. So.
I think this may not work for everybody, but this is just kind of how my brain works, and I, as a almost 32-year-old person, still do this. So, kids always love to write on like whiteboards or chalkboards. So, depending on the age of your kid, that's a way that you can kind of help them stick to a routine. Be like, okay, let's sit down the night before, and you take your little chalkboard or your iPad or your whiteboard, whatever it is, and say, what time are we going to get up in the morning? What time do you want to have breakfast? What are we going to do after breakfast? And just kind of make out a little schedule that you can actively check off as you go throughout the day. Some people really want to, or really have satisfaction, from just checking things off lists. That's definitely how I am. So that could be, Michelle, something that maybe they, kind of help them stick to a schedule a little bit better.
Peyton Johnson said yes, video games.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Yeah.
No more video games.
Also, sorry.
No, I was saying, I won't lie. I busted out my N64. I got my old Game Boy out. Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. I will say though that all of the teachers are doing awesome things. I've been seeing so many things on Facebook. This is just kind of like for us, like this, even though we're not working, this could be a time where we just kind of like fall silent and, just kind of do the bare minimum, get the kids their work, get our members their workouts and things like that. But everybody is really taking it to the next level, showing up out front of the kids' houses and bringing them flowers and all the drive-by birthday parties and things like that. I think it's just only helping the situation. So if there's any kind of kindness like that your job or your day allows you to sprinkle on somebody else, I think that's an awesome way to kind of spread some joy during this crazy time.
Anything else you want to add, Carl?
mean, not to change it away from the fun and the like lighthearted, but like I think it's also important to keep in mind that like especially if you're a go person, like the type of stress that most of us are probably experiencing now is different than what we're used to. Like you're probably used to the stress and you have an understanding of the stress you're going to deal with going into work and that dealing with that stress work and maybe even being able to draw a line of, okay, I'm dealing with this stress here, I'm dealing with this stress here. Like you can, a lot of people can leave work at work. Home stress, they leave home stress at home. Well, now work is at home. And then understanding, okay, how do I push these things and kind of almost compartmentalize this? Okay, this is this stress related here, and this is this stress related here, and not letting one affect the other. And but then also the understanding of, let's see, I gotta look at my notes again here. that psychological stress, like will wear you down quicker than anything. Physical stress, yeah, like the running and like how many, just everybody's had that. I know I've had it over the past couple weeks where it's just like I've sat all day and I am exhausted. Why am I so tired? Whereas I know there's days where I've ran from here, ran to there, done this, done that, demonstrated I don't know how many different exercises, done a class, and I'm like, man, I feel great. I'm energized. Like what? Doesn't make any sense at all. There's just that psychological stress and understanding that it will wear you out, and if you're not careful, it'll creep up on you. So finding humor, finding something to break up the day, chunking your time to allow that not to do that. Because if you sit for just 8 hours doing work, you're gonna be exhausted, absolutely exhausted.
I think another thing that you can do too to kind of break some of that up is, since you are, sort of stuck at home, if you can kind of find yourself a little place, or like make yourself a place that's kind of like your break space throughout the day. If you're lucky enough, to live somewhere where you can go out on your back porch or your front porch, or if you do, live in town or live in a subdivision, maybe you have just a space in your bedroom, or you have a space, somewhere in the room that doesn't ever get used, and you build yourself a little fort, and you go in there for 5 minutes just to decompress, or something like that, where you can kind of give yourself a little safe haven and get away for just 3 or 4 minutes, and then get back to the daily grind.
Well, hopefully, everything that we've shared with you guys today has at least resonated with you at least a little bit, and kind of help giving you some tips to kind of just navigate through this time. If you guys have anything else you want to add, just feel free, reach out to us. We definitely want to make sure that we, respond to everybody. And Kim, thank you. We are trying so hard to get you guys,
Thanks, Kim.
The workouts and the classes that you guys want. And our coaches are amazing, giving you guys some quality work that you can go back and watch afterwards as well. And I just want to leave you with this. Happiness is contagious. So if you can make yourself happy and you can make the others around you happy and spread that out onto all avenues that you have, please do so. It's definitely going to make someone else's day. So we really want to thank you guys for taking the time to chat with us, and like I said, I hope that this has at least hit home with a few of you. So thank you guys so much.
Hi, Evelyn. Hi, Adeline.
We miss you all.
Miss you guys.